Hey guys, it's Michael Curran with Pure Pursuit. We have the interior features video here for our 2014 Porsche Cayenne Turbo S. We're going to start down here, work our way up. Alright, so as you can see, we have a sport button. This car is equipped with Sport Chrono Pack. It includes the sport. It also includes this lap timer up here. So we have the sport mode. What that does is it'll lower the suspension one setting and put the suspension in sport mode. It's a little bit firmer, a little more aggressive handling, a little bit rougher ride, but this is the sacrifice you get for better handling. This car also has the automatic engine cutoff. So say you're driving around, stop at a stoplight, the engine will recognize that, cut out. As soon as you let off the brake, it'll turn back on, saves you some gas. Also, this car has several off-road modes. This is the hill descent control. That way, if you're going down a steep grade, it keeps you from going over a certain speed limit. That way you don't get out of control. Also, you can turn off the traction control here. It'll hold that down for several seconds. It'll come off. One more, back on. We'll come up here. We'll talk about some of the ride settings this vehicle has. So, it has several ride heights. We're currently in the mid-low range. So, you go hold that down. Go down to the loading level. Now the loading level, it lowers the car down low enough so that you can lift heavy boxes or stuff like that into the back with no problem. Let's go back up. This is the sport mode level. So when you put it into sport, this is where it goes. It's called the low level. You can go up, you can be in the normal level. That's just the normal operating level for the vehicle. Go up again. So there's high level 1 and there's high level 2. They're both used for if you're doing any off-roading. Those settings can be coupled with this over here, which you can use to raise the level of the vehicle as well as lock the rear and center differentials. Push up once, it turns off-road mode on. Now that'll raise the vehicle up to its second high level. One more push. You have the center differential lock on. And one more. And you have the rear differential lock on as well. So that's your full off-road mode. That's when you're really going after it. Now here in the center are the several driving settings for the suspension. We have comfort setting, which is the softest suspension setting. If we come down here to normal, that's just the normal. It is a good mix of sport and comfort mode. That way you can get the most out of your car. Now sport mode, now that's gonna be a little firmer. The vehicle's going to have a more aggressive ride, but you're going to get a better handling out of it. Now come up here. We have on both sides the Hvac controls here. So you have your heated seats as well as your cooled seats. For the front two seats, for the front two passengers, both have heated and cooled seats. Now you can control the temperature and the speed of the fans. You can have it for both of them to be the same. That way you can only you change one side, they both change. Nice, convenient there. Come on up. We'll come up here to the center screen area. So a lot of different settings with this. As you can see, it's currently in the navigation map mode. And you can use this lever here. This one will, as you scroll, it'll scroll in or out for your desired level of zoom, all the way out to about 500 miles if you needed a view of the whole country. Now we'll come to start. You have your radio settings. You can manual tune. You can set your favorites. We also come with media. So that's something that, like, if you can attach your own USB device, and that way you can listen to your own music from. You can take it from your computer and plug it in here, and that way it's always in here. You can also use auxiliary Bluetooth. Now my phone is currently connected. If you have an iPhone like I do, or any other phone with Bluetooth capabilities, you can connect the phone. You can use it to speak, dial phone. You have your phone book, as well as any previous calls. If you have that phone hooked up, you can also use auxiliary Bluetooth, which I mentioned earlier. That way you can play, your iTunes, your Spotify, your SoundCloud, something like that. You can play through the speakers, no wires, which is great. Now, the great thing about the navigation here is we can go to the gauges, and you can have your navigation in one of the gauges. That way you're not looking down here. That way you're just right here, the center, not taking your eyes too far off the road. Some more settings here. We have, your information, your traffic messages, your XM service information, stuff like that. You can also go through your car settings, so you can do trip data, range data. You can learn all that stuff. It's like that. So you can see your consumption, you can see your average speed. So if you're on a long road trip and you want to see how you're doing, you can easily monitor all that. Now we're going to move on up here to the steering wheel and gauge area. As I mentioned previously, you can change the different settings and different modes in that gauge there. Simply by using this stalk, you can scroll through. So there you can check through your phone. You can go through your phone book, previous calls. That way you can do it all right here. You're not messing with buttons over there. You also have your trip data, as it's demonstrated there. Tire pressure. So this is great. You can monitor your pressures there, and so you're always up to date. So you have the best knowledge. So you're not just guessing which tire is setting the tire pressure notice off. The Sport Chrono Pack. So the Sport Chrono Pack is unique to this vehicle. Essentially, it gives you a lap timer here and here. Adds the sport mode. Adds these pedals here, which is unique because generally with the Porsches, they have pedals, buttons here that control backwards and forwards, up and down in the gears. You also have your other vehicle settings, turbo pressure because it is a twin turbo V8. Other interesting, temperatures and pressures. This is where you'd find out if you had music playing through your phone. This is where you'd see it. You'd see the name of the song, the artist. Now here this is your navigation. So when you're using the navigation, it'll tell you take a right in 1 mile, and it'll show up on here in real time. That way you're never looking down here and fumbling around. Again, there's your map. Now, as you can see, these gauges are red. Now, that's a unique feature to this car as well. This car, I mentioned, the brake calipers are red, and so are the seat belts, which is a couple of unique features about this vehicle that kind of make it stand out. The black on the red, actually, it works very well. So you kind of go through, you see your temperature, you have fuel gauge there, tachometer in the center with all your different warning lights, speedometer here. Also see your speed digitally down there. Also, that'll show you if you're in your sport mode and if your traction control is off. So you have speed in manual there. Also have more temperatures and pressures right there. Now we have our different stalks here for your turn signals and for your wiper settings. Move up here, we have several settings up here. As you can see, this is a panoramic sunroof. You have your sunroof settings there. You can even close it, push the button. A couple other buttons up here. We have 3 settings for your garage doors. That way you can program them in there, that way you're not having things clipped onto the sun visor. Also, you can turn your parking controls, or you also turn your parking sensors on and off up here, as well as the lights when the doors are opened. Alright, that about does it for our interior features video. Check out the website and YouTube for our other videos for this vehicle.